From there, your broadcast is officially started, and we hi to all you fans. Actually, the cameras up
Oh,
first.
hi.
It's one of those.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel nervous. If you're not nervous, then that's okay. There you go, man. Little cream in it. Oh, you're on your own.
Not with that right there.
The original rule is the official radio rule is no food in the studio. Since it's us, we kind of first rules. I just say don't make a mess to where I have to tell my boss. If I do, then people have to pay for it. But yeah, listen for his cues. 60, 30. If you're still talking and he gets to 10, just stop. Best cue you'll hear from him is Mike's Alive. Mike's Alive, it's your show, you got it. You can if you want to. It's okay.
You guys are lucky they get 4 people.
No, because if they get anything less, they can't put together a 2-hour show. You'll be okay. Trey will probably hang with you for a couple of days. What's that you talking about? I guess sure.
Mike's Alive.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You're checking out Let's Hash It Out. I'm Miranda, Miss Miranda Wrights, and this is my very first show. I'm so excited to be here. I'm excited to finally get this thing going. I'm a bit nervous, so forgive me out there in the world if I sound a little bit shaky. It's been kind of an intense journey for me thus far to get here, but I'm excited to finally do it. I have some good friends here in the studio with me today, so hopefully they won't let me make too much of a fool of myself here, but I'm excited to get it going.
We will, though.
So I guess the big thing is everybody's probably wondering a little bit about who I am and why I'm here, how I got this show and everything. So
Yes, we are.
I am Mile High Ma, as most people know me. I've been the 420 nurse with the Denver chapter for about the past 6 months, and that's really how I got into this industry. It all started with my passion, which comes from my mother. She, unfortunately, she passed away this past February, and she lost her struggle with cancer, and so being a medical marijuana patient wasn't exactly an option for her. She lived in Arizona, in Bullhead City, Arizona, and she did her treatments out there in Las Vegas, which we all know Vegas kind of has a no-go for weed. And
do you know why though? Did you know that like 80% of the land in Utah is actually government land? That's why silver is the pricing range it is because most of the silver mined in the entire U.S. is mined in Utah, and the government controls those mines in that land.
oh, I actually didn't know that. No. But
I am a useful source of completely useless information.
a little bit odd. But so being, from Colorado here, having somebody like that in my life where she can't get to any type of cannabis, it was really hard for me, and it was a big struggle for me to be able to kind of cope with dealing with that. And she's the person that first had told me about the 420 nurses and why I had joined that. And in doing that, I was introduced to a whole world that I wasn't even ready for. There's so much knowledge and so much education and so much things to learn from it that I was taken, completely off topic about everything, and I've been learning everything every day. So that's part of the whole reason why I started.
So, and you and I got a chance to talk a little bit about boys, not going to kill me with this microphone. There we go. But anyway, so you and I got to talk about this a little bit when we had Kid Cannabis just on Friday, and you were a guest on my show, and you talked about this, about your mom and the inability to access medicine. and how that affected you and pretty much what drove you. You're kind of like Mike Kennard, the boss here, the big boss and his wife, Mrs. Kennard. We call Mama Bear and Papa Bear. But you're like them. Your mom, faced this illness much like their son did, and that swayed their opinion and why they were involved. And so this is what's sort of thrown you into the cannabis world.
It has. I've been a user of cannabis for a long time. I used it for medical purposes. I have back problems and things like that. I have really bad anxiety.
Am I the only one that admits I used it for fun and medicine?
Well, the very first time I tried it, it was out of recreational use. It was part of being with the cool kids in school and a lot like that. But overall, I didn't realize, all of the purposes behind it, and that what I thought was just recreational use really wasn't a medicinal use. I just wasn't aware of it yet. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So having to go through that and being here in Colorado where it's much more acceptable, and then having my mom who can't even, say the word bong, much less, talk about wanting to smoke, she was looked at as a criminal and she was a patient, so it was really hard for me to deal with. And so after she passed away, I kind of took that and ran with it, and I've done everything that I can to involve myself in the cannabis community as far as doing events and learning about everything that I can, and really trying to be a voice for her. And I landed this job. I worked really hard to get here. I did a lot of work that nobody knew about as far as going out and promoting for the radio station and trying to just tell people about it as a whole, that we are here. We're here to promote the awareness, education.
I didn't know who the hell you were. I was like, who's this cute Mexican chick in the lobby? Is that my guest today? I didn't know.
The Weedhams are great friends of mine, and thankfully to them, they were able to help me kind of put me in the right direction here. I came across, happened to be here the same day as the producer was, and everybody that knows me knows I like to talk, so I spit a little bit of game at him, and he liked a lot of what I had to say and what I had to bring to the table. So, I got this job, and I'm excited to be the voice for a lot of people, and a lot of people that don't exactly get the ability to share what they want to say based on their location, or, their friends don't like it, their family doesn't like it. I mean, I'm going through my own personal, situation and battle right now where certain members of my family don't even want to admit that they're part of my family because of what I'm doing.
So it's like that?
It is. They have flat out had told me that they're ashamed that I'm, part of their family because of what I'm doing, because I'm doing drugs on the internet.
Wow. That's pretty intense but please, you chime in on this one.
Let me tell you, you're not doing drugs on the internet.
Okay, you can't sound like such a stoner when you do that. Okay, just makes me like, let me tell you, bro, you're not doing drugs on the internet, buddy. No, I'll do that.
Sweetie,
I love the way you sound.
cry.
I love the way you sound right now.
Make him cry.
She's not going to make me
Just
cry.
1 minute.
But she might beat me up, though. She looks
I'm
feisty.
going to beat him up a little bit. You're not doing drugs on the internet. You're not speaking out about drugs. You're not talking about methamphetamines or cocaine or
Proactively
anything.
promoting.
You're proactively promoting. What you were talking about is a life-saving medicine that if it wasn't for cannabis, my child would be dead. I can't tell you how proud I am of you today, and for anybody in your family
Hold on, wait.
or
Slow
friends.
down. Can I ask you to go back, explain that a little bit more? If it wasn't for cannabis, your exact words were, my child would be dead. Please explain that.
Yeah, my son has pulmonary stenosis and
Okay.
sensory processing disorder.
Thank you. I was like, I know what that is.
Pulmonary stenosis means the valve from the heart to his lungs doesn't get oxygen-rich blood all over his body, so he often appears to be bruised, blue, hurt in some way that you'd have.
So they think you beat your kid.
Exactly. So it's almost time. There are times where I'm almost scared or ashamed to take my child out because I'm scared that people that don't know better will think that I have abused or hurt or medically neglected my child. When the reality is, to put it in layman's terms, the heart from his valve to his lungs should be the type of a regular straw, but his is more the type of a coffee straw. If at any point in time it gets the size of a toothpick, we will then have to go put a stent in his heart.
So this stent would be like guys who have
Like
cholesterol issues.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, wow,
Exactly. And he was born like that.
But he's a kid. And
But
born
he was born like that. And also, on top of it, he has sensory processing disorder, which falls under the autism umbrella. The type of medications that they want to put my son on are Xanax, Klonopin. Basically,
I take Xanax. That stuff's a joke.
right. Basically, they want to make my son a junkie before he has a heart chance for life. At one point, when you get the common cold, that is equal to my son getting the flu. And if he gets any sort of infection, it can go into his heart, cause heart damage. So about 2 years ago, he got the cold. They wanted to scope his heart and they wanted to, look inside his heart. So my choices were, let these doctors put my son in the hospital, scope his heart, which we felt was completely unneeded,
Overkill.
a complete overkill. Or I was forced to move to Colorado where I can, safely give my son medicine to help him gain weight, not be dehydrated, and live a normal childhood and go to a school where they're not going to force him to become a drug addict.
What's your son's name? Just first name, not last.
David.
David. I like David.
David.
I love the Spanish, David.
David, which is hysterical.
You know. I blame. Her name is Code, and she was the one of the characters on NCIS, the original NCIS. You remember the girl who got her head cut off or blown off at the end of one season, and then she replaced that girl, the brunette. But she's this foreign chick, and her name is Agent David on the show. And every time they said, I'm just like, ooh.
That's hysterical. When my daughter was in kindergarten, I was a volunteer at the school, and this little kid goes, "No, my name is David. It's French."
No, that's Spanish, Shawty, but we'll take it. That's interesting. See, so basically, your son suffers from a disorder that duplicates the process of cholesterol damage and heart attacks.
Yes, sir. He was born.
Call me sir again. I'm gonna beat you.
I'm sorry, I'm from the South. What do you want?
All right, fair enough. I grew up in the South, so I got respect.
Okay. So yeah, he was born 8 months early, and back then
8 months early.
I'm sorry. 2 months. He was born at 8 months. He was born at 8 months.
Good Lord, Shorty, you're only in there for 8 months. How the hell are you born 8 months early?
Yeah, he was born at 8 months, 2 months early.
No, don't worry about it.
All right.
You're good.
And I really, really went by doctor's orders. I did everything that Western medicine told me to do. I was, your typical Stepford church going, Midwest
You really go
wife.
Stepford wives.
Yeah, I mean, I really did. Like, I went to church like 3 times a week. I did everything the doctor told me to do. I was like a soccer mom, just trying to be like the all-American woman. And I really feel that if these doctors would have taken a step back and looked at what they were prescribing me, then my child wouldn't be sick the way he is today. And we are actually in a lawsuit and considering, moving forward with Zofran because it is proven now that Zofran gives children heart defects. And unfortunately, if I would have just smoked pot with my kid the whole time, my son would have been born normally, but instead,
Did you just say it was Zofran that did that?
Zofran, yes, ma'am.
Because
Sorry.
that actually kind of amazes me because with both of my children, I was recommended and basically Zofran was shoved down my throat throughout my entire pregnancy for being the best thing that I could take to relieve nausea. And I mean, I've told my friends to take Zofran. I've told my friends to take Zofran because it works so great for me. And to do that kind of makes me feel like
I mean, my son, I was giving it up to listen, I was on the operating table. They were talking about injecting blue dye into my stomach until it leaked out my vagina to see if the baby should be born. Wow. And they wouldn't give me anything from anxiety at this point, but however, they were shoving Zofran down my throat because I was puking all over the place. So let's see. I can't smoke pot for nausea and for anxiety, but yet you're giving me something throughout my whole pregnancy that now is in a class action lawsuit that is proven to give kids. But if I would have smoked pot, they would have taken my kid from me and they would have put me in jail because I was in Pennsylvania, which is an extreme anti-state. I mean, it's like one plant is a 5-year mandatory sentence for cultivation.
Oh, wow. I know some cultivators out there in PA. Y'all better watch your back, dog.
I want to know if there's anybody actually listening right now from Pennsylvania that would have any thoughts on it coming from that state. I mean, here in Colorado, we don't hear much about, the anti side of it. That's the whole reason we're here.
So, I got a question about this Zofran, guys. Seriously, I'm familiar with vinegar, which is what a couple of the moms. Yeah, that's right. I got multiple baby mamas. I'm hooked like that.
I'm allergic to vinegar, so I couldn't take that.
So this is an alternative to vinegar because I know vinegar is sort of supposed to be the go-to guy for nausea.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, no,
I'm sorry.
it is actually, they tried to give me that and I took it and I got really sick of it and that's how they found out I was allergic to it. That's the only thing I'm actually allergic
Listen,
to.
here's the best part. Zofran I don't know about everybody else's medication costs, but it was over $2,000 a month for me personally. I honestly feel, as insurance payers, I have private insurance. I was on state insurance, nothing like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that if you need that, but I was on private insurance. And here, everybody else's insurance is paying thousands and thousands of dollars for me to be on anti-nausea medicine that potentially gave my son a heart defect, and instead I could have just smoked a little bit of marijuana, which is now medically proven. They did studies done in Jamaica that show it's not the marijuana right? It's not the marijuana that makes children sick. It is actually economic conditions. So all you taxpayers got to pay for my Zofran, which gave my kid a heart condition, which all you taxpayers are now going to be forced to pay for him for the rest of his life so that he doesn't die. And I really feel that it's on Big Pharmaceutical to come up and admit that they were wrong. And unfortunately, my class action lawsuit against Zofran, I might hopefully one day see 25 cents of. I mean, because that's how class action lawsuits work.
They
And
take
I'm not,
forever. My mom's fiance actually was just telling me not too long ago that my mom had started and was involved in a lawsuit against Johnson & Johnson, I think it was, about how it can cause ovarian cancer. And she was part of this whole thing that I had absolutely no idea about. Holy crap.
oh, you're gonna love this. Back a couple of years ago, Johnson & Johnson used to give all the children or all the nurses at hospitals soap to wash their babies with, and the children were showing up with positive cannabis tests, and then the children would be taken from their moms.
What?
Oh, looky now. Johnson & Johnson just spiked the soda. Oh, boy.
I don't.
So where is our Carlos Jr.? You're going to get stuck with every show that I bring up food. Somebody ends up getting stuck if the listeners don't buy. It was you last week with Pop's pizza.
Oh, yeah.
And he never finished that pizza. I hate it.
Really?
We need to talk more about this Carl's Jr. thing. Is this like a White Castle deal?
It's okay if White Castle is on steroids.
So
It's,
are they
White
like
Castle-
little
White
baby
Castle is
hamburgers, or are they like
White Castle,
giant
okay, White
hamburgers?
Castle, this is White Castle.
It is
This
nothing.
is Carl's Jr.
It is nothing in comparison.
This is
Okay,
normal
Carl's
man.
Jr.
This
is
is the dog.
good. It's the man burger.
The White Castle is the boy burger. The Carl's Jr. is the man burger. Why are we using boy and man to describe beef-sized
You know what?
patties?
How do we? I know, right?
Miranda,
That's
It just seems so inappropriate.
Maybe we should
Miranda,
call-
honey, I have money. You don't have to eat fast food. I'll cook you a real
Look,
baby.
she said, no. She doesn't understand radio. It's all about the fast food.
Maybe
It's
we
what
can
gives
get
you the
somebody to
base.
bring us food. Maybe we should call out Carl's Jr. Should we call out Carl's Jr.?
Okay,
can
so
do
where's
that,
the, okay,
right?
so hold on. I'm gonna Google the closest Carl's Jr. You two just take over the show and do your show. They look at me like,
I want food. I'm hungry. I
okay,
can do it.
I'm gonna get on Carl's Jr. You're gonna run your show. That way you don't have to worry about it. I'll help you. Get food.
What do you want?
We have to introduce her to Carl's Jr. We're gonna call Carl's Jr. We're gonna tell him we have a radio show here in Springs. We're gonna be
You know,
like, hey, listen,
actually,
guys.
right before we came here, I stopped at the liquor store for this lady over here. And
I'm not allowed to bring my beer on the air.
No, you cannot drink on air. That is
I'm-
actually against the rules.
no, I'm not drinking. We stopped here to get her.
But afterwards,
It's my birthday. I'm not a
Happy
complete
birthday.
alcoholic. It's my birthday. This is
Oh,
my birthday
She's-
cake.
I'm a half alcoholic. I only get trashed on my birthday.
Speaking of birthdays, actually, real quick,
Happy birthday,
I actually
buddy.
want to say happy birthday presents, but I
Yes.
also want to give a shout out to my sister-in-law in Texas. It is Paige's birthday today,
Paige,
so I want to say happy
Paige
birthday
hot.
to Paige.
Paige,
Paige is gorgeous, and she's my sister-in-law. No, she's
Oh,
actually
Lord.
she is married
those
to
words that say yes, I'm taken.
she is married to my sister.
I'm half taken.
She's married to your sister.
It's just that I gotta get the other half.
Well,
fast.
I love that. You know how I feel about that situation.
So I wanted to say happy birthday to you, Paige. I'm so happy that she's listening all the way out there in
Thank
Texas.
you, Paige, for listening. in
And I
Texas.
also want to give
Texas.
a shout out to another birthday, my friend Ryan up in Denver.
Oh, Ryan and Deborah. Oh, Ryan and Damari City, not the Pueblo. Everybody loves when I do the Pueblo Mexican. They're like, do the Pueblo Mexican every time I meet you.
Wait. Talk a little Mexican to me.
She's like, I'm a Pueblo Mexican of a lighter color. No, I actually took my nephews, who are both Caucasian, to a show, or not show, but a birthday party. I'm sorry. It was like a Mexican birthday party next door at the neighbors. And let me tell you something. Those two little white boys were Mexican for a couple of hours.
Oh, you don't want to mess around with our type of parties, man.
No.
They're fun.
We were talking about that too. Me and this one Mexican guy, he barely spoke English, but the one thing we got from each other was we find a reason to party when we're Latinos. We're like, oh, Hector got an A on his science project. Fiesta!
I could be Latina. You want to sit here?
Yeah. Oh, see, look now. See, it's and I'm usually the perv. That's the scary part here, guys. Just so you know, I'm usually the perverted one. Here we have presence, making a presence here by being the sort of the proverbial perv here on the show. And, and Mama Kush over here.
I couldn't do it without her. She's actually helping to ease the nerves. I've been kind of worked up this whole past week.
Are
talking
you
about it, so-
nervous? Are you radio nervous? She's a radio virgin, guys. She's not a dab virgin though.
Oh,
She knows all about the dab and the pace and the dab.
speaking of which, Pedro, where are you? I'm waiting on my email.
Oh, see, look.
Hey,
we always-
hey, yeah, Pedro, I've been saying good stuff about you. You're not here with the dads.
Okay,
right,
so
you guys-
look, 1 minute to go to a break here, and you guys are over here throwing Pedro under the bus, but now I'm kind of jumping on the bandwagon. Pedro, where the hell are you? And where's our weed?
Yep, we're here waiting. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We're about to get to a commercial break right now. So thanks again. This is Let's Hash It Out. We'll be back in just a second.
And don't forget, guys, you can follow her show on Facebook here, probably either today or tomorrow. We'll have her page created. It'll be K-High Radio. Let's Hash It Out with Miranda Rice. 30? Oh, take us away, girl. Tell them.
This is Ma Hi Ma listening to K-High, Let's Talk Pod.com. Let's hash it out, baby. We'll be right back in just a minute.
All right, so anyway, so check it out.
That's a good time to enter.
Couple of things is, don't really worry about the send off until you get to 30 seconds
Yeah, I know.
because
I realize that.
at 60 it's way too early. That's all. Yes, sir.
Shut up.
Yes, sir.
It's her
I was
show.
about to tell you that.
Shut
Like,
up.
you guys take control, and I'm gonna slowly fade into the distance, like Diablo used to say.
Don't slowly fade. Fade.
Fade to black.
Yeah.
Is that a racist joke?
I don't care.
But anyway, so and then I'll run and go get your coffee and be your little.
I'm stuck.
Uh-oh.
I'm stuck.
But yeah, I'll get your coffee and be your little.
It's a simple matter.
Coming back in, I'm not gonna say much.
What we talked about off air is not what came across on air. Because I thought the first couple of minutes was going to be about you. I didn't hear that.
I said, I'm sorry. I was just talking about it.
Yeah, and then you guys got
We let her.
of which that part.
That's my fault. I
Of which
heard.
that part's okay. That part's okay. You can go off a little bit. Trey, seriously,
Let her talk.
yeah. Don't you? Because literally, what you did was take over her spot and interview her. She's not here to be interviewed. She's here to hang with you. You have to take over. You have to take over that part of the show. Take over that. This is your show. If he feels like he's talking too much, he's on mic 3. Cut him off.
Kill the mic. That actually works.
Other than that, how'd it feel?
Okay.
You sure?
Very comfortable, yeah.
You getting comfortable? Do yourself a favor.
Yes.
Turn a little bit further. No, just like I was gonna say, just angle yourself here. That way, you are talking into the mic. Granted, it's a 3-way conversation where you all need to be looking at each other, but I mean, just to be able to keep you on screen somewhat, but make sure you're talking into the mic as well.
And that's
It's
a
almost
circular mic. That means it picks it up all 360.
it's almost like a play towards the camera or towards over here anyway. People coming in to hear you. So
Not
that
me.
mic is yours. And again, shut up, Trey.
Smile.
They can hear
You're
you
having
smile.
fun.
This is true. Like Diablo always makes me smile when I do happy weed commercials for him. They can hear you smile. That is a fact.
I don't
And-
want this show. I want to stand up.
Okay. And you know what?
We're gonna get that eventually.
My first like probably week or two, I don't think I sat down once. It's not in me. So when we come back from the break, it's all about you.
I don't know.
And so you want to talk about it and plug the phone here. You want to plug the phone lines as many times as possible because your show is really like geared towards that caller calling in. If we don't get a caller, I'll go outside and I'll call in and I will make jokes like anybody watching back behind the scenes, fuck you, because you know my secret. But I will go outside and I'll call into the show. Just make sure you actually answer the goddamn phone.
How do I know when there's a caller calling?
Watch. Because we should be coming back soon, so let's go. Anyway, let's go. What's the phone number here again? Oh, yeah. I'm like, you have a show on this goddamn station. You don't know the phone number still.
I know what it is. It's 591.
795. Sure. Okay, so we're gonna call it again. I'll show you.
Why is everybody? I keep having people calling me saying that the website's down right now.
Yes.
Why?
You're back. It's all you know.
Hey, what's going on? It's Miranda. You're listening to Let's Hash It Out, and it looks like we have a caller. Oh, you're messing with the phone lines. See? Not even. Well, what's going on with the website? I keep hearing people saying that the website's down right now.
The website's down. What I would do is,
Why?
I don't know. I'm gonna go outside and find out right now. You just have fun and then talk to your show and talk about. There's the internet's right here. You can pull up all kinds of
Oh,
whatever.
I already have this going. I just wanted to know why the website's down because I have family and I have people that are trying to listen to my show. Dang it.
Here, look. Tell them to go to.
Our engineer Kenny posted a link on Facebook. So if you go to the K-High Facebook page, there's a link to go to an alternate stream.
Okay, so
The show.
if you go to the K-High Facebook page, it looks like there's a link to be able to stream it.
If you want, go. If you post that, you can do it here. Post this to. They can watch video too. Just copy that, and then we'll post that to. I think I'm still logged in right now. Funny enough, on Facebook, so we'll figure it out. But go into my page and share
we
it.
do have somebody that is fixing it right now, I guess. The engineer's working on it. So if you can get to the Facebook page, to the K-High Facebook page, we're posting the link right now so that you can still listen to the radio station.
And I got it back before I walk out of the studio here for a minute to go call Carlos Jr. and get these ladies lunch because I'm going to do my hustle on for them. Hustle in. I'm going to post this right here to the K-High. Actually, here, I'm going to post it to my normal page. Just go to my page and you can share it there. Okay.
Okay.
And this is a watch live link, so you can watch her live. Paste. Do you want to do me a favor?
Yeah.
On the keyboard, you go right there. Hit enter. Here, just a second. Hit enter. Okay, why is that not coming up there? Okay, so now just type in your show's name. Let's type it out. I'm gonna go ahead and call Carlos Jr. You guys have fun. So what she's doing, she's putting a link for you guys on there to watch behind the scenes. I'm gonna go ahead and step outside and call Carlos Jr. Hustle up these ladies lunch. And apparently go make coffee because I'm the coffee bitch today. Go ahead and kill Mike 3, please.
There we go. Okay, so he's going to get us some lunch. And I just posted it now to the K-High Facebook page. So you can go ahead and get on YouTube and check it out. Look at us live and see what we got going on. Oh. Okay, so, I'm sorry, what? Okay, well, so I came across this site yesterday, and it kind of got me a little bit taken back. And considering this is Let's Hash It Out and we're getting into the debate about things, I wanted to share it with you guys. It's called debate.org. And basically, you can go on there and you can stir up any type of controversy that you want. You can start your own debate. And I came across one that was about, of course, medical marijuana and about medical marijuana dispensaries and whether or not they can help treat people or not. And I wanted to share with you guys some of the responses because I thought they were hilarious. The poll so far, it says 86% are for the positive sides and that medical marijuana dispensaries do help, and 14% are saying no. So there's this gentleman on here that he says, no, they do not help because marijuana is addictive. Marijuana cannot help treat because it is such an addictive drug. It is one of the most uncontrollable addictions that cannot be treated in the United States. In fact, it is treated not quite as much as alcohol addiction is, and the only answer is to stay away from marijuana. It is not medicine. Please, people just like to smoke it for fun and to get loony. Well.
Oh, you are the manager? You're the manager?
You're talking to Carlos Jr.? They're over there.
Okay, yes. I have a
Well,
kind of
so I don't know about you guys, but this whole marijuana is addictive thing, I can't quite compete with that. I don't think he has his facts straight. What do you think, Cousins?
I think that it's almost laughable because they actually use cannabis oil to come off opiate addiction and benzo addiction. When you see these little children that are epilepsy and on CNN, on Sanjay Gupta's weeds and whatever, they actually are using a small amount of THC to come off of opiates and benzos to help relieve the complications and the withdrawals from benzos and narcos. So for him to say that is kind of laughable. Apparently he's never seen what real addiction looks like. He's never seen anybody lose their home or sell their bodies for a hit of crack cocaine. You're never ever going to see that in the marijuana community. You're never going to see that. You're never going to see some woman walking down the street prostituting herself or selling her children or losing her home over cannabis. That just doesn't happen. So the idea that, yes, anything can be addictive. He is right. Yes, anything can be addictive. Video games can be addictive. Sugar, which is the #1 addiction in the world. People think, oh, I eat healthy because I eat this and that and the other. But what they really don't realize is that pasta is 100% almost pure sugar. It breaks down to a glucose. So they are informed when you're having a sandwich, the bun that your sandwich is on is sugar. So the reality is sugar and everyday eat that most moms put into their lunch boxes for their kids is really actually the #1 addiction in America. The idea that you'd be addicted to a substance like cannabis and that it's not a medicine is laughable. I have seen children go from almost catatonic to being able to speak and look you in the eyes. So it's fair to presume that this man has been brainwashed over the last almost 100 years to believe that. It's really
I completely
sad.
agree. I was watching this documentary called High Country,
Mhm.
and I know a lot of people have been talking about it, and what everybody is saying is so true. You definitely need to check it out. Everybody needs to watch it. It's on Netflix. High Country, and basically they're explaining things in a way that most people aren't thinking of. I mean, they're hitting back all of these defenses on why weed is bad and, you know, that it's not good, it's an addictive gateway drug, and they're coming with the facts, the percentages, the science, you know, tests that have been proven for it, and they're bringing in psychologists to even talk about how that addiction, it's not coming necessarily from the plant. You know, if you smoke pot, you're not just going to get addicted to crack from smoking
Well,
pot.
sadly, these people that are coming in with these anti-campaigns are usually paid for people like the DARE program, the National Institute of Health, anti-drug campaigns. So it is not actual scientific fact that they're reporting. It is a one-sided based on who they've been paid by. When, you know, we see, you know, especially our age, you know, I'm 30-something years old.
You can tell it's okay.
I'm 30-something years old. And, you know, all of my parents and friends' parents and grandparents smoked marijuana. They're all extremely successful, own their own businesses. Some of them are millionaires, some of them are multimillionaires. And I grew up watching these people smoke marijuana. And, you know, these anti-drug campaigns are like, you're going to die. And I'm like, but my friend is a multi-millionaire doctor that saves kids in foreign countries.
It's just like those commercials that you see on TV, you know, like the one that I just heard them talking about it the other day. It's like, yeah, the commercial with the little girl and she's, you know, melting into the couch because she started smoking some pot, or the people that are in the drive-thru and they run into the little girl, you know, because they forgot to put their foot on the brake because they're stoned, and so they just hit somebody, and it's like, okay, well, my bad, I forgot because I was high. You know, people have such a stereotype and such a stigma about the whole cannabis community that, you know, they believe this reefer, they completely believe this whole reefer madness, and it is just not true. It is unbelievable the amount of, you know, research that is being done, continuing to be done, and the amount of science facts to prove there is a benefit to it. You know what I mean? People aren't just saying it for no reason.
Well, it's hysterical and laughable to me when people are like, oh, you're high on marijuana. My son has gone to private school or Montessori school, and I am very humble but fortunate enough that my son has been able to live a pretty upper class lifestyle. And where we came from was an anti-state, and all the other mothers judged me because of cannabis. But one of the conversations I had with the mom was, yeah, I'm on drugs. I'm on drugs to wake up. I'm on drugs to go to sleep. I'm on drugs to have sex with my husband. But she was considered a pillar in her community where, you know, I was a black sheep because I talked about cannabis, but yet she needed a pill just to screw her husband. And it's like, but I was the one looked down upon. You know, here's an idea. Smoke a joint, make love to your husband. It'll be the best orgasmic time you've ever had.
I'm pretty sure you can't. Well, internet right now you can't. But it's a natural bodily thing. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody needs to kind of understand that, like, whether or not you think that you are using it for a medicinal purpose or not, if you're just recreational, chances are 99% of you, you are using it for a medicinal purpose and you don't even realize it yet. You don't have to necessarily have cancer or have, leukemia or multiple, fibrosis or anything horribly wrong with you to have the use of medical marijuana. Those are just extreme cases that thank goodness people are speaking out about, because we wouldn't know. But I mean, if it's just, you are stressed out, you've had a long day, you're pissed off at the world, and you need to just go smoke a joint to calm down, you are smoking medically. You are using that plant, that joint, to calm you down, to shake those nerves, to do whatever it is that you need to do for yourself, to be a regular person of society, And it's people, they're all using it to get away from the angst of just being alive, And that, in today's world, that's enough that will drive people crazy to jump off bridges and commit suicide, or just lead to popping pills in the first place.
And absolutely, and back to the sex thing is, nobody would look down upon a man who had to use Viagra, Cialis, to kind of set the mood. Nobody would look down upon a woman who would have a couple glasses of wine to help her be ready. And the reality is, as much as we don't want to bring cannabis into a sexual situation, sex is a big part of our life, and why not? Let's just put on some jazz music, smoke a bowl, skip all the other stuff, and then you will both be ready for a pleasurable time, And that's a certain situation where married couples who are extremely conservative, but maybe just need a little extra, can, do something without the drugs, without the booze that are going to ruin your liver or make you do something you regret, and be happy and intimate. So anybody that says that they can't see it as a medicine has obviously not been an old man with impotent issues.
Well, and that just goes for a lot of people. There was that one judge I heard about, I think it was in California or something, that was talking about how she still doesn't believe that there's any medical benefit to cannabis at all, and that she will never vote for it to be legal in any way, shape, or form. And that's just somebody that's just ill-informed, just ignorant to the subject, and doesn't even want to hear.
Oh no, what you've got there, honey, is somebody who is backed by big pharma or backed by an anti-grip who is paid to say those things, because when it comes down to it, if one of her family members got cancer, I'm going to be the first call that she makes, where she's begging somebody like me or someone like myself, please save my dying kid. But in the meantime, she has to say whatever she needs to do to keep getting that money deposited in her bank. And unfortunately, lobbyists are what control America and keep us from having cannabis, because...
Well, actually, and that's a good point. You were explaining to me, I kind of want to touch on this because you blew me away with something you were saying this morning about how it takes 5 people to be able to change a law
per district,
per district.
The way it works out too. I went to this seminar in Philadelphia, and one of the people that works on, presidential campaigns was explaining to us that the reality is that most politicians never hear from their constituents. So if they just get 5 phone calls a day, they're like, oh my God, everybody in the county is calling. When the reality is 5 of you would wake up per district per day, call your elected representatives and say, hey, I am pro-cannabis because of this. Please don't be taking bong hits while you're doing this. Come in and what bills that your county, district, state are supporting, and say, hey, I support, in Pennsylvania, for example, Senate Bill 3, which was Senate Bill 1183 in the past, which calls for the use of full plant, not CBD only, full plant, because we don't believe in Pennsylvania leaving anybody behind, for everybody to be involved in medical. And people can say, I don't support a medical bill, and I really don't either. It should be legal as lettuce, but if you look at every place in the world who has had legalized marijuana, it all starts with medical. So get out there, talk to people. I know it's scary. I know you're afraid you're going to get children taken. But if you come in informed and look professional, I promise you that's not going to happen.
I can't believe that it only takes 5 people to be able to do it.
If
you think about, just like the cannabis cup, we just had it here in Denver this past month. Now, think of how many thousands of people come out for those 3 days, how many thousands of people are spending money, and how many thousands of people are there shopping and having a great time, and that's wonderful. You know what I mean? Yes, all for the movement. Absolutely, we should be celebrating. But where are those thousands of people at when it comes down to vote and when it comes down to actually make a difference? I'm so surprised by it, and I mean, I'm guilty of it myself because I can say I haven't held a picket sign and stood on the corner with cannabis cure signs, but by all means, I'm going to start now. It's just so many people aren't aware that that's all that it really takes. And if that many people are going to openly go on Instagram and on Facebook and show pictures of them smoking out of a bong, then why are those same people not out there, doing something that's going to benefit everybody?
And all it takes is kind of researching your individual elected officials and that community. One of the officials in my past community, he is a big farmer. So I went in there about hemp. I knew my facts about how, marijuana and hemp replace the the soil and enrich the soil. And I went in there and I gave him a book about hemp, and he was appreciative. And because I came in there educated and informed, he now is going to be in favor. So just go in there, research your officials, see what they're all about. If they're all about money, go in there from the business side. If they're a farming official, go in there from the farming side. If they're a medical person, go in there from the compassion.
I completely agree. I think that just more people need to start saying,
Closer to the mic.
no more people just need to be saying, what it is that they think. More people need to start talking about. Which one are you talking? 3, 4? What button here? Red or yellow? There we go. Better? Okay. Sorry, they're having me work this switchboard and I have no idea what I'm doing over here. I'm just pushing buttons trying to get stuff going on. So there you go. Okay, did you get on the phone with them?
30.
Yeah, Carl's Jr. is going to give me a call back. They just got to get it approved from the boss. No surprise there.
Of course. But anyway, so back onto what we're talking about with the medical side, I think that people just need to start talking, saying what they believe and stand up for it. I mean, I have plenty of people out there that right now that think I shouldn't be here, but you know what? I'm here and I have something to say about it. So we're going to get down to it. We're going to start hashing it out. I'm here to stay. This is Miranda right now listening on K-Hive. Tune in right now, letstalkpot.com. We'll be right back. We're on a break.
Okay, so kill the last two lights.
These ones?
That one and that one. Kill those. There you go. Red. Remember, red is hot. That means you're on.
Okay.
And yellow is like cool, like you're off.
Why don't you make little sticky notes and put them by the buttons until you learn it? You know what I mean? Like, remind yourself, red is on air.
Okay.
Red is everybody can hear me. Yellow is I can talk shit.
Do I sound okay? Do I seem stupid?
No, you sound fine. This is funny. So I have Dana down at the beach, scared of dabs.
Why?
I don't know, but I told her I was going to take her to Speakeasy when she comes up in August and get her dabbed.
Tell her it's just fancy
You
hash.
tell her. She's listening to us.
Okay, let's
When we
talk
come
about
back.
BHO. Can you say? Do you know much about like the actual scientific process,
In respect to what?
like how it's purged? And of course
Oh,
you
how
don't-
do you extract the
I mean,
like the
how like the old school bubble hash compared to now, and that's just a different
shatter
process.
compared to the propane now, the new propane process?
Mhm.
I'm
You know,
familiar with it, but I wouldn't call
Let's
myself
talk.
an expert.
Let's talk. I'm not an expert, but I mean, you're from Colorado, of course you fucking know. I'm not trying to talk down to you. It's just a lot of people that I meet don't understand. Please excuse me. I'm not trying to.
I'm gonna
talk
tell her,
down
keep
to you.
listening.
Let's talk about BHO. That's a good topic.
That's where she's gonna be yourself. Yeah, so interview
Listen.
her.
Okay, interview me. Ask me any question. Nothing's off limits. And if we get uncomfortable, we'll phone an expert. Okay, I know a guy.
Hey, that's awesome. Actually, let's call somebody.
I
if
know
you want.
plenty of people.
I know a few
Okay,
people
here,
too,
let
a few
me see.
dispenser people. So let's get one of your dispenser people on the line.
Okay.
Text them and ask them if it's okay if we call them for a live on-air interview
Let me see.
to get the expert
Is
on.
he?
Oh, and you know what? I've got a high
How do
country.
I get them to play my music every time I come in on instead of that country shit?
They'll play whatever they got and let you tell them.
I've already given them. They played my Miss Marijuana song.
Well, you got to tell them that, like, can you play that song in and out of every break or whatever? You just got to tell them. They'll do what you say. You're the producer of the show.
Can you
You're
hear
the
me
boss.
now? Can you guys hear me now?
No, you got to turn your mic on.
Oh.
You got to turn on mic 1.
This one?
Yep, your mic 1, she's 2, I'm 3.
Okay.
You know, I
is
don't
it
think we need to
possible
find a friend.
get
I
the
think-
Miss Marijuana song playing in and out of all my breaks? Can I get the Miss Marijuana song playing in and out of my breaks until I get more music? Yeah. Cool, thank you.
See, that was easy, huh?
Yeah, that was. Sorry, I'm nervous.
The guys over in Chicago, we call them Sonar. But Sonar will they'll help you. You'll be all right. Like you don't even need me. I'm just here because this is amazing.
No, and it's fun, thank you. Freaking out.
This is fun.
By myself.
I just want this girl to call me back and I'll be fine.
We're not on there, are we?
We're about to be.
How long?
Kill Mike Ford. There you go.
Listen anywhere at letstalkpod.com.
Hey, we want to talk about the HL and the cons and pros. Can we call you to like? Can I call you to like call and talk on the radio about it?
All right,
Like,
Mike's
what
live.
kind of deal?
Hi, this is Miranda, Miss Miranda Wrights. You're listening to Let's Hash It Out on KHI, letstalkpod.com. Okay, so we're back in now from our break, about the second half of the hour, and we're just getting on to some introductions about my show and what we got going on. I have
Alright, I'll call you.
Mr. Trey here in the room with me. He's the on the High Noon Show. He was just on right here before me, and we have a guest about ready to call in. We're gonna get into a discussion about BHO, right?
Yeah, we're gonna call him right now. So you guys go ahead and talk about what BHO is, the basics, and we're gonna get him on the line right now.
Presents.
Okay, so basically what BHO is butane hash oil, and it just really is a fancy term for hash that was made back in the 60s and 70s, commonly known as bubble hash or cold water hash. It is an extraction that is done through forcing
He's gonna just
basically
pop right in.
butane through
Go.
forcing butane through a pump, and then you extract the special oils
Oh, hi, AJ. It's Miranda
and presents.
and Presents. You're live on the air right now, sir. Hey, how's it going? I'm so glad you can come on my first show for me. I'm nervous. They're helping me out here. So we have some questions for you. We were just talking about BHO, and Presence was just kind of giving us. She was giving us a brief little rundown about what it is exactly.
I was just kind of telling them, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because you honestly know more than I do, that it's basically just a fancy method of making old school hash, which is known as bubble hash or cold water hash, and now it's done with a different kind of solvent. And there are pros and cons that I feel. Obviously, you are putting butane, which is a carcinogen, in your body. But for people about the dab life, I don't feel they're necessarily concerned about that. Whereas cold water hash, I feel, might be more of a medicine. But obviously, you know much more about this subject than I do, so please weigh in.
It's actually very, very and what water hash is essentially the plants that are made. So the plants are only that's how it makes it able to now with BHO, BHA hash oil, DHO, propane hash oil, alcohol extract hash, with any of those types of solvents, which are formulations of solvents, you're actually breaking into those plants and you're stealing the oil inside of them, adding them to the oil that you're already utilizing. Very similar, if anyone knows how a chassis. Very, very similar. They take the coffee beans, they put it through a system very much like BHO takes it, and then the oil that they get out of it is actually where the caffeine is. So that's how they take the caffeine out of the coffee. You take that caffeine, just like how they take the caffeine and then harvest. Like how we harvest the
So why the big, if you don't mind me asking this question, then why the big push towards propane from butane?
Well, think about the process. So when they're taking caffeine out of coffee beans, they're using the butane to pump that out. what we're doing is we're using butane essentially to suck the THC and the good stuff out of the plant matter that we're smoking.
Okay, so why the craze about the propane versus butane? Because I've heard like propane is the better process or the more pure process than butane.
And propane is the
Oh,
butane is the 67%. Propane is essentially more pure.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that. To me, I would have just thought butane and propane is all the same thing,
I just thought they were the same, except one burned hotter than the other.
right?
Well, yeah, they're both gases,
Well,
but technical gases that can be in them. But that's more of a chemistry question. I guess that would be a question a little bit more chemistry.
Gotcha.
But what I've seen as far as chemistry is that, like I said, propane, it's basically literally
Is that what we're calling it these days?
that's actually why they put latte in propane.
Because it is odorless, yeah.
That because if you had propane and it didn't have that smell added to it, you could have that thing fill up your house.
Oh, wow. I think I'd want to know that.
Is that why people end up blowing up their houses when they're trying to make hash?
Yes and no.
Okay.
All right. So the reason why people blow up their house is because they're really effective outside. And people don't realize that you do not need plain so say I'm sitting in your bedroom, okay, and I say, oh, I'm going to make hash. All right, let me open the top of this window. Now,
Mm-hmm.
you blow the hash through, and you're burning it out, okay? And you're like, oh, I'm okay, I have a window. That window is roughly 4 or 5 feet off the ground. Where are your electrical?
At the bottom where gas settles.
Yes, about a foot on the ground, right?
Okay.
So, if gas, you're blowing gas in this room, it's heavier than air. All this gas is sticking to this room, not going out that door. Fresh air.
So on a lighter note, if somebody farts, stay high, don't go low.
Well, I mean, truthfully, here's the scary thing is that you're sitting in your room, you're blowing these gas, and then you go to turn the light on, or to turn on your TV. All those big things.
There's initial electrical
Simply
current
like
connection.
static
Yeah.
electricity.
Correct. Yeah. And so, all of a sudden, your outlet all basically blows up in the entire room.
Wow. I never would have thought that.
That is,
Even more common in garages because usually the work and the wiring is like
So basically, if you don't know what you're doing, don't try it, guys. Don't be blowing your stuff up.
it's the, I was gonna say you do have to have a special license if I remember right.
yeah,
I don't really care.
you know,
You do it all the time. You have to have a different license.
So Pokey and Ray Ray should not be making hash.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, if you're smart, leave it up to you.
Right.
And if you're really that good at it, really good at job.
I get that a lot. People are like, well, why don't you blast your own? And I'm like, I'm an alcoholic that smokes a lot of weed. Do you really want me playing with explosives? No Pokey and Ray Ray.
All day. And many of us really be around those materials, something like that. I mean, I take my life in my hand every time I blow plastic.
Which I guess also leads up to the topic of like everything else we promote here at K-High, which is responsibility and safety first, guys. We don't want anybody getting hurt. We don't want anybody breaking any rules or getting into any more trouble.
So no Pookie and Ray Ray allowed.
Yeah, I mean, we're really lucky in the state of Colorado to be able to do the things we're doing and be able to smoke cannabis and consume it. So please, all you amateurs that think that you're going to like be the next big thing, please step back and just leave it up to the big boys. Okay?
This is not amateur porn where anybody can really do it.
Right, like seriously, they have explosion rooms for a reason.
They do it in porn too, weirdly enough. Come on, just run with that. Your face is priceless.
You guys have no idea how expensive it is to set up that.
A real, like a legit one.
The proper way, exactly like a tassel where it was an extension, things like that. I mean, I can tell you our shop, Advanced Medical Alternatives down here in Denver, we've been working on getting our permitting for PHO and recreational licensing.
Oh wow, so you've been at it for a while then.
And I mean, a lot of companies are like this, and a lot of the ones that don't have these millions of dollars growing to the lab just to get it going because they have national operations ready. It's really tough for them to do it all the time. And we're going through the steps to do this right so that we don't have any stories, so that there isn't a message that, hey, AMA dispensary exploded,
Exactly.
They didn't take the time to do their hash rate. A perfect example of something not doing it right is CAM, Colorado Alternative Medicine.
Too bad.
I don't know if you guys know that they were extremely well known in the industry. Very, very well respected by blood centers for a lot of blood centers actually went by their and they kind of got money from this, what I understand. They applied for recreational license. They did not receive it, but they went ahead and put it up on their wallet. So they had a full recreational license in their shop, doing business and such for months. And then finally the MMED caught on, and they lost both their licenses altogether.
That's what I've been hearing a lot lately. I've been seeing a lot more and more in the news about people that are trying to come in and think that they know what they're doing about stuff, and they don't know what they're doing. And so I think that the big thing here is that, people are putting a big eye on Colorado for a reason, and people are thinking that, okay, it's legal for us to come here and do it, so let's just do it, and that's not the case. We're all here to learn about things. We're all here to try to figure it out, and, we're all in this adventure together, whether you're here in Colorado or not. So we're just trying to get down to the bottom of all these issues and see if we can't hash it out. Right now, I want to looks like we're at the end of the hour, so I want to thank you guys, everybody that's listening, and thank you for AJ Hashman for calling in and for giving us some excellent advice and some excellent tips about the extraction of hash and that whole process. Again, this is Miss Miranda Wrights. You're listening to Let's Hash It Out. I want to thank you guys so much for coming, presence, Mr. Trey for being on my show. It's my very first show, so
I thought she was on for 2 hours.
oh no, I can't handle 2 just yet. But thank you guys, everybody, for listening, and I will be here again tomorrow at 2 o'clock. So thanks again for being here, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? Okay, hi, letstalkpod.com.
Good first show, girl. Good first show. All right, hey, that wasn't a bad way. Did you tell him I'm sorry for dumping him?
He understands.
Okay.
He's
Most
professional.
of you,
He
go ahead and
gets
kill
it.
mics. Most people in radio know that, like, if you're, like, they know, like, sometimes, I'm going to tell you the first time I called into a radio show, and I was like, blah, 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 blah. The next thing I know, I was like, click. Mother hung up on me. I was mad.
No,
Because
he
I
gets
didn't know better.
it. He.
How do you think it sounds on the other end, my music and drum?
Oh, your junk? Your junk sounds great, girl. Just don't tell your husband I told you that.
He wasn't listening anyway, so don't.
Oh, boo. I got girls who want to date me who listen. I'm like, no, I'm going to stay single. Good show, huh?
I'm like, sorry, what I do wrong.
Everything was wrong.
And he like flings in the door like I'm about to be in trouble.
Oh, no, that's his, what do you call it? That's his persona. I feel like I'm in trouble when he looks at me. When he looks at me, I'm like, oh, dear God, I'm in trouble.
When I get nervous, I talk fast.
Okay, you have fun. I'll give you guys your moment, and I'm going to go grab some coffee. I'll wait for you when you're done, girl.
How can I turn this off?
He'll show you how to kill the feed. Yeah.
Okay.
No worries. Go and shut the door real quick. Yeah, don't worry about that. We're good there. So we'll get it out. Let's kill feed. The only opinion that matters